As we all know, 1/3 of Rockefeller Inc., which owns Reasonable Doubt, is for sale. And I've gotten a lot of calls, a lot of offers. I don't know if people are hummer stunting, or not. We'll see who shows up. But I definitely got some very healthy offers, and I appreciate those.
So you image yourself after a gay painter. Your big homie want to look like a gay painter.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Basquiat. He wants to look like a gay painter.
Dame Dash released a shocking video announcing that he is seeking buyers for his 1/3 ownership of Rockefeller Records. Perhaps as a way to sweeten the pot, or perhaps just to show off a little, Dame said he would throw in an original Rockefeller chain if the bid exceeded $10 million. You can guess who allegedly slid into his DMs with an offer. It appears that 50 Cent is back at it again, causing drama with Jay-Z. The rumor has it that 50 is prepared to pay a hefty price to acquire the Rockefeller share, and in typical 50 Cent fashion, he couldn't resist making fun of Jay-Z while he was at it. However, Jay-Z's attorneys didn't take long to respond, and they even took calculated steps to ensure that the copyrights for the legendary Reasonable Doubt album revert to him by 2031, a move that would have happened regardless. This action seriously scuttles hopes that any buyer intends to profit, especially since the minimum bid is a cool $1.2 million. This is where the story gets complicated. Not only is 50 Cent donating over $10 million to support his artistic endeavors, but this might also be the last straw in his long-running feud with Jay-Z. You can just tell that 50 is eager to get that share, not only for the company but also so he can go all out on social media and troll Jay-Z. However, there are also rumors that 50 is out for revenge and is prepared to reveal how Rockefeller has allegedly been defrauding artists for years. You can be sure that he will take it personally against Jay-Z. What's really happening behind the scenes is that Dame and Jay-Z's legal dispute is now to a head. Is 50 really going to plunge headfirst into this disaster in order to get even with Jay? Let's break it all down.
If you do want to buy 1/3 of Rockefeller Inc., you are going to have to bring some bread, and anything over 10 million, I'm going to sweeten the pot. You get an original Rockefeller chain from off my neck.
Dame Dash's 33% interest in Jay-Z's Rock Records is about to go up for sale, but there may be some significant conditions. A source revealed to Billboard suggests that these shares may have certain restrictions. In order to settle an $823,000 judgment against him from a lawsuit brought by movie producer Josh Weber over a failed film deal, the U.S. Marshals Service is reportedly planning to auction off Dash's 33.3% share of the venerable record label. If you're thinking about bidding on Dame Dash's winnier stake in the label, be prepared to fork over a significant sum of money. The minimum price for the auction is $1.2 million, and prospective buyers must deposit $240,000 in order to participate. But let's discuss what is really up for grabs. Here's where things get messy. Dash's share of Rockefeller Inc. is up for sale, and the crown jewel is the rights to Jay-Z's renowned debut album Reasonable Doubt. However, the rest of Rockefeller's music catalog is owned by other parties and isn't included in this sale because the label ceased operations in 2013. Jay-Z and Kareem Biggs Burke, who own the other 2/3 of Rockefeller, have tried to block this auction. They even made some changes to the company's bylaws and got involved in the lawsuit. But a federal judge shut that down back in February, while the chance to own a piece of rap history is bound to attract some high rollers. There's a catch. According to a source who spoke to Billboard, there are some major restrictions with this auction. You're not simply purchasing a piece of paper, you're purchasing a company with other interests, which may make matters more complicated. The insider informed Billboard that because all choices need a majority vote, whoever purchases Dame's stake in Rockefeller will be a minority owner with no control over decision-making. They won't be able to transfer the copyright or borrow money against the master. The source also warned that Rockefeller's rights to Reasonable Doubt are running out, and that the years remaining in his income and sole true asset are becoming shorter. What they're implying is that Jay-Z may be able to use the album's copyright termination right to reclaim the rights 35 years after it was released in 1996. This means that by 2031, Jay-Z may regain control, giving the new owner only roughly 7 years before the company's most valuable asset is sold. Those considering bidding should keep this ticking clock in mind. However, it appears that there is one person who doesn't give a damn about all these messy details because they're more interested in getting even with Jay-Z. Yep, it's 50. He just cares about getting his petty retribution, and this auction is simply another opportunity to outdo him. Jay, the conflict involving 50 Cent over 2 decades have passed since Jay-Z and 50 First became involved in a friendly competition that quickly escalated into a full-fledged beef. Let's go back to 1999, when 50 dropped his song How to Rob and took shots at Jay. Jay-Z wasn't going to let that go unanswered, and he fired back on Some Like It Hot, using the famous line, "I'm about $1. What the F is 50 cents?" However, in an interview with Angie Martinez in 2002, Jay-Z attempted to act as though everything was fine between them.
He was like,
Wait,
yo,
who,
you know,
you and 50 Cent?
yeah, you know I respect your record. Yeah, I like that record. It was hot. But you know I gotta spank you dogs. That was the conversation. No doubt, do your thing.
Right.
While the public may have often seen the relationship between Jay-Z and 50 Cent as a playful rivalry between two rap titans, the reality behind the scenes was far from harmonious. Under the surface of their public interactions, a simmering tension existed that occasionally bubbled over into outright hostility. Jay-Z, known for his clever wordplay and subtle disses, didn't always play nice. He would frequently sneak in little jabs at 50 Cent, testing the waters to see how far he could push his fellow rapper. But 50 Cent was never one to sit back and let someone take shots at him without retaliation. When Jay's jabs became too pointed, 50 Cent didn't hold back. He fired back with his own accusations, claiming that Jay had essentially bought his way to the top of the industry. In his mind, Jay-Z's success was less about talent and more about financial muscle. He argued that Jay's influence, particularly on an international scale, was not as organic or earned as it seemed. In a candid moment, 50 Cent highlighted the stark contrast in their careers, particularly in terms of album sales. He pointed out that while Jay-Z's best-selling album moved around 430,000 copies, two of 50 Cent's albums, Get Rich or Die Tryin' and The Massacre, each sold over 5 million copies. For 50 Cent, this difference in sales figures was emblematic of a larger disparity in their standing, particularly on a global stage. There's a huge difference in energy internationally between 50 Cent and Jay-Z, asserted. While Jay-Z might have held significant sway in the United States, 50 Cent believed that his own reach extended far beyond and that his success was a truer reflection of his influence. He suggested that the perception of competition between them in the US was misleading, as the American market could easily be manipulated through marketing dollars. Let them be fooled in America and think there's a competition there, 50 Cent said, implying that Jay-Z's dominance in the US was more a product of savvy marketing than genuine superiority. But 50 Cent's criticism of Jay-Z went beyond mere numbers and industry politics. He took issue with what he perceived as Jay-Z's superiority complex, which he believed had grown out of control. In a 2009 interview with Rolling Stone, 50 Cent bluntly stated, he has a king complex. He thinks he's expletive Jesus, this Jehovah expletive. This wasn't just a passing comment, it was a direct attack on Jay-Z's persona, one that many had already noted in the industry. Jay-Z's self-styled moniker Jehovah, a play on Jehovah, had always suggested that he saw himself as a godlike figure in the rap world. This was more than bravado to 50 Cent, it showed his immense self-confidence. The rivalry wasn't just about ego, though. 50 Cent also accused Jay-Z of betraying the very people who had helped him rise to the top. He pointed specifically to Jay-Z's treatment of his Rockefeller Records artists, a label that had once been synonymous with loyalty and brotherhood. I think he was saying Rocka la Familia, we family, it's the Rockefeller gang, 50 Cent recalled, referencing Jay-Z's early rhetoric about the label being a close-knit family. But according to 50 Cent, this was all just talk. Behind the scenes, Jay-Z was using traditional business tactics, focusing solely on what was best for himself rather than looking out for the interests of his artists. In that same Rolling Stone interview, 50 Cent criticized Jay-Z for not having the best interests of his Rockefeller family in mind, accusing him of prioritizing his own success over the collective well-being of the label's artists. But it wasn't just 50 Cent who saw Jay-Z in this light. Other industry insiders and former associates have echoed similar sentiments, suggesting that Jay-Z's rise to power came at the expense of those around him. Over the years, Jay-Z has faced accusations of betrayal and manipulation from various corners of the industry, with many questioning the ethics behind his business practices. In the end, the rivalry between Jay-Z and 50 Cent was about more than just music. It was a clash of ideologies, a battle between two very different visions of what it meant to succeed in the rap game. And while the public may have only seen glimpses of their animosity, the underlying tensions were very real, rooted in deep-seated disagreements about loyalty, success, and the true cost of fame. Artists, multiple industry insiders have alleged that Jay-Z intentionally held back the commercial success of his Rockefeller artists, just to make sure they didn't outshine him in the popularity stakes. Remember, when the late great DMX exposed Jay for sabotaging the release of his 6th album just because he changed his mind about retiring. You know what happened was that, as I mentioned earlier, everything was going well with my crazy track record, Def Jam. When he first started working for me, he called and said, "Yo, dog and mates, just run to the building like, yo, you good? Finish the album, shoot the video." You know what happened. M__travel. And you know we have no idea what you mean when you say you don't know M. How can you listen to a whole album, choose a song, make a video, and then, well, I see what's really good, you're trying to get rid of the competition because at first you retire, then you get me off the label, and now you're back to rapping. All is okay, nothing is wrong. Beanie Sigel is said to have experienced something similar, and according to TK Kirkland, Jay thought he may outperform Beanie, so he purposefully ruined his life. All you had to do was listen to Ben Seeger, even though they were going to force you to accept that you couldn't sell more albums than Jay-Z or be greater than him on his label, if that makes any sense. Benny Seeger was like, oh my god, and there's no hate to nobody. Jay-Z, who was still my dog and hosted my birthday party, is now a multi-billionaire. The rapper Big L was practically a local legend in the Harlem underground hip-hop scene, known for his insane freestyling skills. In 1992, Big L signed a deal with Columbia Records, and his debut album dropped the following year. Despite the success of the album, Columbia dropped Big L less than a year later, allegedly over a creative disagreement. Big L didn't let that stop him though, as he launched his own independent label, Flamboyant Entertainment, and got to work on his second studio album. He also caught the attention of Dame Dash of Rockefeller, who began talking about possibly signing Big L and his crew as a group. But just as things were heating up, tragedy struck. This is when things become extremely shady. Big L was driving by Harlem. Big L's boyhood buddy Gerard Woodley was detained in connection with the murder, but the investigation was unable to gather sufficient evidence, so they had to release him. To this day, Big L's murder is still unsolved. This is where things get even more interesting. Jaguar Wright has made some outrageous accusations, claiming that Big L thought Jay-Z could have been involved. Big L even seemed to suggest this in his track The Enemy, according to Jaguar.
What would you do if a vicious enemy suddenly started coming at you, armed to the teeth and ready to kill you?
Armed to the teeth and ready to kill. Sean Carter, I believe everything that Big L ever told me. He never lied to me. Lamont never lied to me. And the last time I was with him, he told me that you was going. And he told me not to trust you. And he told me to watch out for you. And he told me that your greatest sin is coveting, Sean Carter. You're a coveter.
In a revealing 2023 interview with Big Boy TV, 50 Cent dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through the music industry, accusing Jay-Z of trying to sabotage his appearance at the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show. Jay-Z, who was involved in organizing the performance, allegedly attempted to use his influence within the NFL to exclude 50 from the lineup, according to 50 Cent. The rapper suggested that Jay-Z still harbors some unresolved issues with him, which may have influenced the decision to initially leave him out. However, 50 Cent claimed that it was his longtime friend and collaborator Eminem who ultimately stepped in and insisted that 50 be included in the show. According to 50, Eminem made it clear to Jay-Z that he wouldn't take the stage unless 50 Cent was also a part of the performance. This bold move from Eminem, 50 suggests, was what finally secured his spot in the iconic show. Jay-Z and them were putting it together, so I think they still harbor some energy towards me, 50 Cent explained during the interview. When asked if he believed he was purposely left out of the AD, 50 responded, no, I don't think. I think they were saying the NFL has some issues with me that, I don't know what those issues are. 50 Cent seemed puzzled by the alleged issues the NFL might have with him, especially given his successful and long-standing career. What is the issue now, he questioned, seemingly frustrated by the vague nature of the supposed concerns. He speculated that the NFL's reluctance to include him might have been influenced by Jay-Z's personal feelings, though he admitted he couldn't pinpoint exactly what those feelings were. Despite the tension, 50 Cent made it clear that his inclusion in the Super Bowl halftime show was essential to maintaining the legacy of the group that he, Eminem, and Dr. Dre had built together. When you start looking at, "That's not mine, that's theirs," 50 Cent said, referring to the overall organization of the show. But when you look at M, he's looking at the entire legacy. The whole thing, like with EM, Dre, and myself, like that I'm shady aftermath. You see what I'm saying? 50 Cent's point was that their collective legacy shaped by their work together under the Shady Aftermath label couldn't be fully represented without all of them. He emphasized that his contributions to the group and the music industry as a whole were significant enough that leaving him out would have been a disservice to their shared history. They forget that I'm Dre's artist, by the way. He added, reminding listeners of his deep connections to the iconic producer Dr. Dre, who played a pivotal role in his rise to fame. The story gained further credibility when 50 Cent's longtime friend and G-Unit member Tony Yayo backed up the claims during a chat on Vlad TV. Tony Yayo hinted that Jay-Z has a history of making shady moves to undermine other rappers, particularly those he sees as threats. Yayo's comments suggested that the alleged Super Bowl snub might not have been an isolated incident but rather part of a larger pattern of behavior from Jay-Z. Tony Yayo, who has been close to 50 Cent throughout his career, suggested that Jay-Z's actions were rooted in a desire to maintain his dominant position in the rap game. According to Yayo, Jay-Z has a reputation for pulling strings behind the scenes to keep potential rivals in check, ensuring that they don't surpass him in influence or success. This alleged pattern of behavior paints a picture of a highly competitive Jay-Z who is willing to use his considerable power and connections to maintain his status at the top. 50 Cent's allegations and Yayo's supporting comments add a new layer to the ongoing narrative of tension between Jay-Z and 50 Cent. While both rappers have enjoyed massive success in their careers, it's clear that the rivalry between them runs deep. The Super Bowl incident, as described by 50 Cent, is just the latest chapter in a long history of competitive jabs, subtle power plays, and public disputes between the two. In the end, the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show was a massive success, with 50 Cent's surprise appearance becoming one of the highlights of the night. But behind the scenes, the drama surrounding his inclusion reveals the complex and often contentious relationships that exist at the highest levels of the music industry. The story also serves as a reminder that, even in moments of apparent unity and celebration, old rivalries and personal vendettas can still shape the narrative. Most influenced so with JJ is like when the last time you haven't seen Jay, so I think people are just going to say that you know what I'm saying. But for me, I mean, Jay, you got to remember he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. Like, wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl that, yeah, he want. I recall that some people pushed for it and Eminem said, "I'm not going to do it unless 50 doesn't." I heard that. But I didn't know that Jay was trying to stop. I don't know 50 never told me that, but I don't believe Jay wanted them there. I don't know because of what some of the, competition was like back then. Remember, I was about $1. What was the 50 Cent? That was a long time ago. After that, they did a song together and Jay said, "Yo, 50's coming." He told Seaguling them, and Memphis blasted all of them. Yeah, come on, 50's like he's on a whole other level. You have to remember, though, that he came after Jay and Rockefeller Unit came. People might unite, but with Eminem Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, nobody has outsold us, bro. And as you may know, 50 Cent never backs down from a confrontation. If you get on his negative side, you can expect non-stop petty drama. It seems that 50 has been biding his time to exact retribution on Jay-Z. Rumors have it that he's already. Now that 50 is set on purchasing Dame Dash's share of Rockefeller, even though it means that the ownership will expire in a few years, it appears that 50 is using this auction as his opportunity to get under Jay's skin. Since Dame Dash includes an original Rockefeller chain with the shares, you can already imagine what will happen next. Some fans are dragging Dame and 50, saying they should move on and stop acting like they're above the drama, while others are suggesting that Jay-Z may be deliberately remaining silent to appear as though he's above the drama while he could be slyly spiteful behind the scenes. What are your thoughts on all this drama surrounding Dame Dash putting his Rockefeller shares up for auction? How do you feel about 50 Cent allegedly lining up to make the highest bid just to get one over on Jay-Z? Do you really think Jay-Z is as unbothered as he's playing it, or is he secretly pulling some sneaky moves behind the scenes? One fan claimed he doesn't speak publicly because he's too busy trying to do dirty business behind 50's back, like blackballing him from a Super Bowl performance, among other things. Please share your opinions in the comments section, and don't forget to watch the following video.